Hello Muppet fans, Joe from ToughPigs here. A few months ago we were contacted by the folks at Fathom Events letting us know they had a plan to screen the Muppet Movie in honor of its 45th anniversary nationwide. They asked if we were interested in creating a short video that would be shown before the movie to get audiences excited and to tease a few fun bits of trivia. Naturally, we said yes. Of course we did. We'll take any chance to talk about the Muppet Movie. What you're about to see is that video that aired in thousands of theaters across the country on June 2nd and 3rd, 2024. For the complete experience, you should definitely follow up this video by watching the Muppet Movie immediately afterward, with popcorn and sticky floors. You get the idea. It was a thrill to be featured on the big screen, but it was an even bigger thrill to get to spread our joy of the Muppets with audiences everywhere. We hope you enjoy. Hello Muppet fans, and welcome to the Fathom Events screening of my all-time favorite film, The Muppet Movie. My name is Joe Hennis. I am co-owner and editor-in-chief of ToughPigs.com, the premier Muppet fan site. You're all in for such a treat. You'll be watching Kermit the Frog, Miss Piggy, Fozzie Bear, the whole Muppet gang in their cross-country road trip to fame and fortune in Hollywood in the way that Jim Henson intended for it to be seen on the big screen. All right, quick show of hands. Who here is about to experience the Muppet Movie for the very first time? Okay, and who, like me, has seen this movie hundreds of times and has committed every detail to memory? Wow, okay. Well, whatever the case, there are a ton of details that you're going to want to keep an eye out for, and we're going to tell you about a few of those right now. You may already know one of the most famous scenes in the movie is when Kermit the Frog is riding a bicycle. What you may not know is that this isn't the first time that Kermit ever rode a bike. The innovators of the Muppet Workshop developed a system to show Kermit on a Schwinn in the pilot for the Muppet Show called The Muppets Valentine's Show in 1974. And they did it again a couple years later for a delightful made-for-TV special called Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas. For the big screen version, a lot more care was taken to make sure that Kermit's bike riding looked real. They alternated between a marionette for the wide shots of Kermit on his bike and a hand puppet for the close-ups. If you think that's impressive, you should see what happens when they put dozens of Muppets on bicycles in the Muppets' follow-up film, The Great Muppet Caper. Almost as impressive as a frog riding a bicycle is a bear driving a car. For all those wide shots of Fozzie Bear driving his 1951 Studebaker Commander across the country, it really looks like the puppet is steering. In reality, the car has been rigged to be driven by a stunt driver who's stationed in the trunk. There's a little camera that's hidden in the front grille of the car, and the driver is watching from a tiny monitor to make sure they stay on the road. Here's a bonus fact for you. Keep an eye on Fozzie during the scene when Gonzo is flying off with his balloons. The steering wheel pops right off the dashboard. It's a good thing they had a spare driver in the trunk. Most Muppet movies feature surprise cameos by Muppet performers and crew members, a tradition that started right here with the Muppet Movie. Here are a few to keep an eye out for. Miss Piggy creator and performer Frank Oz manhandles or barehandles Fozzie Bear as an angry biker at the El Sleazo Cafe. Steve Whitmire, who will later become the primary performer of Kermit the Frog from 1990 to 2016, can be spotted behind Kermit at the Bogan County Fair. And director Jim Frawley sells frog legs as a waiter at the El Sleazo. The movie also features cameos from celebrities who've worked with the Muppets as guests on The Muppet Show. Those include Steve Martin, Madeline Kahn, Dom DeLuise, Milton Berle, James Coburn, Cloris Leachman, Bob Hope, and Edgar Bergen, who makes his final on-screen performance in this film. In one of the final scenes of the Muppet Movie, you will see an epic shot containing around 250 Muppets, almost every Muppet made to that point. That includes the casts of The Muppet Show and Sesame Street, as well as lesser-known specials like Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas. To pull this off, they called on every available puppeteer they could find, as well as a few non-puppeteers to help out. Among those who worked on this scene were two people who will later become pretty famous directors. John Landis, who directed Blues Brothers and American Werewolf in London and Animal House, and Tim Burton, who directed Pee-wee's Big Adventure and Beetlejuice and Batman. If you can spot Grover in this scene, that's John Landis. Speaking of Landis, once he cemented himself as a filmmaker in his own right, he returned the favor by offering cameos to some of the Muppet performers in his own films. You can spot Frank Oz in his movies The Blues Brothers, American Werewolf in London, Spies Like Us, and Trading Places. Richard Hunt, also in Trading Places, and a rare Jim Henson cameo in his film Into the Night. One of the more iconic scenes in the movie features the giant head of a 60-foot animal bursting through the roof of a building. You know, if the Muppet Movie were made today, they might have used camera tricks or CGI to pull this off, but ever the perfectionist, Jim Henson opted to actually build a giant building-sized animal head that could be physically puppeteered, like a real puppet. Naturally, Animals performer Frank Oz handled the reins of that humongous puppet himself. The big question I have is, what happened to that giant animal head? Someone's got to have that thing stored in the garage. Kermit the Frog's signature song, Rainbow Connection, made its world debut here in The Muppet Movie. Written by Paul Williams and Kenny Asher, it would quickly become for the Muppets what When You Wish Upon a Star is for Disney, or what Somewhere Over the Rainbow is for The Wizard of Oz. Nominated for an Academy Award, the song hit number 25 on the Billboard Top 100 singles list, and it was inducted into the National Recording Registry by the Library of Congress in 2021. The song has been covered by so many people, including The Carpenters, Willie Nelson, Jason Mraz, and Lisa Loeb, but it's also the song that Kermit the Frog himself has probably performed more than any other song, with over 60 different renditions that he's sung on TV, in films, and in live performances. No matter how many times you watch the Muppet Movie, there's always more to discover. Move right along and celebrate the Muppets with us every single day on ToughPigs.com and at ToughPigs on all social media channels. We hope you enjoy the Muppet Movie along with the lovers, the dreamers, and me.